welcome back to another episode of Near Mint Condition, and today Omar and I are going to be talking about the premiere first episode of Titans. Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today marks the premiere date of the first episode of the DC Universe original series, Titans, and Omar and I are going to talk about it.
Yes, it'll definitely be spoiler-free. There's not much to talk about, and it's on, like Amanda said, the DC Universe app, yes. But is it available on Netflix? I could have sworn I read somewhere that it's available, or will be available on Netflix.
Yeah, it will be available on Netflix for anyone outside of the United States who does not have the DC Universe app available to them. However, there is no set date on when that's going to happen. So right now,
you have to buy the app or try it for 7 days.
Exactly.
Now you wait until the 12. How many episodes is it going to be?
13 episodes, I believe. Total.
Okay, wait till the 13th episode is out and then just try that 7-day free trial.
Binge it.
And then be like, maybe.
Maybe I'll stick around for Swamp Thing.
Well, I mean, honestly, Young Justice is the reason why I'm at all interested in this. Now there's going to be a Batgirl project. But back to this.
Yes.
From the trailer, I was not at all happy with the direction they were going. They seem to have taken it from the fun and sometimes serious tone of Teen Titans to more of a dark and edgier look. And I think everybody was making fun of the fuck Batman. Fuck Batman.
Yes, that's right. Became a meme. That was the meme, yeah.
That became a thing, right? Mm-hmm. So I will be honest with you. I was not expecting much. I went in here with the minimal expectations of like, well, maybe this is a show. Maybe something can happen. Maybe I'll have cool special effects. I don't know. How did you feel about the trailer?
The only interaction I've had with Teen Titans has been Teen Titans Go, because that's what my daughter loves to watch, or the actual Teen Titans series from 2003-2006. Yes. So it's I said, okay, this is DC. It's darker, edgier, and one of the producers of the show is actually Greg Berlanti of the Arrowverse fame. I'm sure everyone is familiar with him. And when I actually got to watch the trailer and then watching the first episode, I kept thinking, this is pretty much what Arrow could be if Berlanti wasn't confined to basic cable rules as far as what you can and cannot show.
I agree with that. I think the feel of the show feels a lot like one of those CW shows, which I don't want to say is a bad thing. It's not either good or bad, but
until we see how it rolls out.
It feels like a CW show. Yeah. Like the budget into it feels like a CW show a little bit.
It does. But it's
the pilot. Yes. Keep that in mind too. And this is just our opinion.
Exactly. And I love the Arrowverse. Every show in there I enjoy. So I'm all for that tone and feel, even if the budget constraints don't give you the kind of CGI effects that you're looking for.
So when you first saw the trailer, what kind of expectations did you have for this? Because you didn't, like you said, you didn't know anything about the Titans other than Teen Titans Go. Like, lots of gore, blood.
Yes, a lot of gore, a lot of blood, and I expected the characters to be different. And they do have slight variations to some of their storylines, I'm guessing, or how they're brought together.
I will say, without spoiling anything, because there really isn't much to spoil, it feels like they got a bunch of different origins and put them together. For example, I'll use Dick Grayson. This is the formation of the Titans. Not to spoil anything, but according to the first episode, or the pilot episode, there was never an incarnation of Titans. This is the first time these four characters are meeting. And I say four because that's the only ones that appeared in the first episode. I'm sure there'll be more later.
Yes.
So he has just now recently left Batman in Gotham.
Yes.
He has moved into Detroit. Very similar to the first Nightwing ongoing series by Chuck Dixon, where he moved into Bloodhaven. As a matter of fact, there was a cop in Bloodhaven that appears on the show, and I thought that was pretty cool, and that's Amy
Rohrbeck.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty nice little Easter egg for dorks like me. But it's interesting that they chose Detroit instead of another made-up city. I wish they had gone with something like Bloodhaven, but I get it. That's the route they decided to take. And then, for example, Starfire, we really don't know much about her other than she doesn't remember who she is.
Yep.
We don't know if she's an alien, which this version of her seems to be closer to her New 52 from Red Hood and the Outlaws version than the Marv Wolfman run or the Rebirth stuff. That's what I got out of her so far. But I'll talk about her later because I think she's killing it on the show. She was my favorite. We don't know much about Beast Boy because unfortunately he only appears for a couple of minutes, if that, and only in tiger form and then beast form later. Or I'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
It's kind of The one character that I'm not digging, though, is Raven. Yeah. And I feel like she's the one that's going to carry the show.
She needs to carry the show because it seems to be centered around her right now, right?
Right.
All the mysteries that they've presented, it all... Starfire's journey so far, Dick Grayson's journey. We don't know about Beast Boy because, like we said, he just kind of shows up towards the end. But all their stories seem to center around finding her. So I have to agree with you. I wasn't entirely convinced with Tegan Croft is the actress who plays her, and she's a relative newcomer.
Not Chloe Mintz. What's her name?
He thought it was Chloe Grace Moretz.
She looks just like Hit Girl from Kick-Ass. So.
But it's not. They do look very similar because the hair color and the hairstyle more likely. But I wasn't convinced with her yet either.
And I think that may be because the actress is probably trying to get into the role of the character. She probably doesn't know who the character is yet. So, because it's a pilot, right? And I heard somewhere that there were a lot of cuts because people weren't happy with the original pilot.
Yeah.
So maybe that has something to do with it. And I'll talk about that. The way that the shots are cut. Sometimes there are weird cuts that make absolutely no sense. And I know you've got one in particular you want to talk about, but the one I'm going to talk about is where... It's Starfire as she's leaving that huge mansion in Austria, and she walks away. But it's this weird shot where she's walking away, and I'm like, that's the perfect cut. But instead, they show her walking even further from a reflection of the chandelier, and I'm like, that's like fucking graduate school artsy. I don't know if it was the editor's fault of the way that it was directed, or because, like I said, they had to do reshoots, so they had to like pad out a couple of shots to make room for new stuff or take out other stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So when you said there's one cut, I don't know if necessarily they need to cut it, although I don't necessarily know why it needed to be there. But right in the beginning of the episode, when we meet Raven and her mother in their house, she starts out having a dream, and then she wakes up, and her and her mother have a conversation about her mother being scared of her. Yeah. And you can tell with all of the Christian paraphernalia, the crosses...
Crucifixes up there.
Yeah, the crucifixes, the pictures of Jesus, that clearly, that is her mother's way of trying to deal with whatever's inside of Raven. Or Rachel, I'm sorry. And as Rachel leaves the house in a huff, there's this old man neighbor... And he starts yelling at her about the yelling and screaming at night. And he says something along the lines of, I don't care about your emotional problems. And it made me laugh. And I thought, it just made me laugh.
But
I wasn't expecting...
For the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reasons.
Right.
It's not, I don't think it's supposed to make you laugh. I think the idea of that was supposed to make you think, there are some issues going on here. But I think you already got that before hearing him say it. I don't think we needed that. It made me laugh.
And I thought the same thing. Yeah. I thought that was a little too much. Like stereotypical old man neighbor.
Yes.
That's going to get his comeuppance one time. No,
I hope you all enjoy that scene as much as I did.
I don't know why. That's a spoiler, Amanda. That's a huge spoiler.
It's a huge spoiler. That old man right in the beginning of the episode. Huge spoiler, guys. Anyways, so going back to the tone and theme of it. So... One of the reasons maybe why they centered it in Detroit is they're trying to get away from the feel of it being a comic book, TV show. Is that what the idea is?
Well, or maybe.
Is it just
it's very...
They want to ground it. Is that the idea?
It's very gritty.
It's very gritty.
The way that the shots are done at night, it kind of reminds me... Scenes. Like I said, very CDW. A lot of night shots. A lot of the fight scenes are done at night. And we can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I think Daredevil Season 1 has really spoiled me. The fight scene in the corridor in Daredevil Season 1 was some of the most wonderful choreographed for television, even though it's Netflix.
It's a great fight scene, correct.
I was kind of hoping a little bit more of that, but we got to see the fight scene already, and it's the exact same one except a couple broken bones here and there. With Robin, from the trailer, you got to see that already. And I mean, it was okay. It wasn't the best, or it wasn't horribly done. What did you think of
the fight scenes or the?
I mean, there wasn't that much.
There wasn't. It was a lot of them a lot of people interacting, a lot of just building the world. So there wasn't a lot of action in it. Just brief action. And then we talk about action. We'll talk about some of the CGI effects.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, you get a little bit of taste of Raven's powers as well as Starfire's. Is that where you were talking about how it seems to you very CW-like?
Yeah, the special effects seem a little CW. Although, I did like the Starfire After Effect. I thought that was really good. After she does her special power blast, I like what happens afterwards. I thought that was done really cool and creepy. And maybe it's because I think that Starfire just stole the scenes from me. I thought she was great. The actress was good. You know, everybody made fun of the way that she looked like a hooker. But to me, for the story, it kind of makes sense. Yeah. And I want to see where it goes. I want to see if she's an alien. I want to see if she's... Or if she's some kind of scientific experiment or whatever twist
they change it.
they want to do. It's got my interest. And I think that kind of sums up how I feel about the show.
I agree.
It's got my interest. I want to see where it goes. It's one of those things that I'll probably watch. I don't know if I'll watch it on a weekly basis. I think we should probably do an overview of the entire series when it's over, the first season. Because I think it's one that I could binge watch.
I think I would do the same thing.
Because every Friday they're releasing one, right?
Every Friday they're going to release a new one, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll probably let a few stack up and then I'll watch it after that. Just to see. Yeah. But no, Starfire to me killed it. I thought she was great. I'm sorry, you were talking about the special effects. So the special effects on her fire, I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't like the way the special effects are done on Raven yet because I don't understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Right? Beast Boy, for the 2 little minutes that we saw of him. They look okay. I mean, obviously, TV shows don't have the budget that movies do.
To morph a man into an animal is always a difficult task.
Snoop Dogg did it. Michael Jackson did it.
Well, they could do
anything's possible. Well, I was thinking more of like, if you think that the tiger in The Walking Dead is believable, then Beast Boy you won't have a problem with Beast Boy.
Oh, no,
like it's that kind of graphics. Well, Westworld had it too. Westworld's an HBO show.
Yes.
And I remember like texting you going, God damn, HBO makes money. Can't they make like a real looking tiger?
On the dragons though to make those look realistic.
No, those
Game
look
of
real.
Thrones. Those look real. Anyway, dragons existed. Anyway.
So the CG, it's okay.
So what do you think about Robin? Brenton Thwaites, who plays Robin, the actor is Brenton Thwaites, and he is from The Giver and Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man Tells No Tales.
Okay.
He plays Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann's son. So there you go. So he's playing Robin, which, given his past roles, I wasn't quite sure what to make of him, but...
I'll be honest. To me, those dark and broody characters don't ever stand out. I love Batman.
It's hard,
but, I mean, it's hard to judge somebody's acting ability on how broody they can be, right? Like,
how much can I brood and stare at the camera?
He was, I mean, he was okay. I'm sure he's got plenty of eye candy for the ladies.
No, he was not bad to look at.
Dudes, too. I will say that I think his arc is pretty interesting because I hope, this is not a spoiler, I hope they never show Batman. I like the idea of Batman.
I think they shouldn't either, yeah.
I like the idea of, in the sense of like Godfather 2, that you never see the Godfather in Godfather 2. You hear him, but you know of his presence because he's such a larger-than-life character. And that's the way I feel about Batman.
I agree.
So we don't ever need to see Batman. We get it. He's he casts this shadow over these characters. And that's okay. That's where they should leave it. I have a feeling, though, to get the ratings up, they might cast somebody as Batman. But that's just my wishful thinking.
Later on down the road.
So, yeah, he's a cop, new rookie cop in streets of Detroit. He's okay. Like I said, Starfire's the one that stole the show for me. Because I wasn't expecting that.
And I think it's probably because her arc, her being an amnesiac in this, I think it just had somewhere to go. And she's out in Austria. Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting arc. Not what I was expecting of where she was coming from.
But I do want to say the thing that I said about Raven, about her acting abilities or getting to know the characters, might be because she's not really playing off of anybody else.
No.
She's by herself, and I'm sure it's kind of difficult to play this character that's like, okay, what's going on inside of me? I'm not supposed to know at this time. Got it. Where do I go from there? But as soon as you throw Garfield into Beast Boy into the mix, and they can start playing off each other. By the way, I really like that little thing. I don't know how you felt about it. So this is not a huge spoiler. It's just a little thing. Like, the only time you do see Beast Boy at the end of the episode is he broke into a store as a giant tiger to steal video games. Okay, they get the character. That's cool. Yeah. I'm down with that. I like to see how he plays off of her and how she plays off of him. If that is even a thing. I haven't seen a lot of trailers. I've only seen that first trailer, and that's it. And then the little Jason Todd and Dick Grayson thing.
Yes,
so we know that
he will appear, yeah.
Right.
And I haven't, even in the other trailers they've shown, there has been a lot of interaction between the two of them. You've seen him make a couple of jokes. The only other trailer I've seen hints at Robin and Starfire's relationship, and that's about it.
Okay, cool.
So,
cool.
What are you hoping for the series?
What do I hope for the series?
Yes.
Well, like I said, I don't ever want to see Batman. I'm cool with seeing other characters. Yeah. We already know that Hawk and Dove are going to make an appearance.
Yeah, the DC Universe app kind of gives it away with the second episode title being Hawk and Dove.
Well, no, we know they're joining because they were always part of the big trailer reveal. Now, we don't know who the big bad guy is. I can assume it's Brother Blood, maybe. Or even my boy, Trigon here.
Yeah, I think he'll play a role, whether or not he'll be the big bad in this season.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it may be Brother Blood, and then maybe over a couple of season arc will be.
Yeah, we've only seen the first episode, so it's hard to tell. And I haven't read anything about it. I haven't, like I said, I've only seen that first trailer and that little snippet of Jason Todd, and that's it. So
yeah,
it can go anywhere, but I'm interested. So it's got my interest. Yeah.
That's good.
What about you? What do you want to see out of this show? Love, romance, Arrow
show up? I want to see
romance.
Arrow would show up, but if you showed up, that'd be wonderful. No, what I'm hoping for is I want to see them get together, and I want to see that there is a chemistry between the four actors. Not just romantic chemistry, but I think what always made the shows work and the comics work is just the characters and how they interact with each other. And so I'm hoping that it'll be good chemistry between all four actors once they do finally meet up and start working together. And I really just want to see how this mystery unfolds. I want to see where they take Raven's story. I want to see if it's similar to what we've seen in the comics and the other TV shows.
Okay.
Or if they try to deviate. And if they do, how are they going to deviate from it? And if it's something I'm going to like. That's the question.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, because I'm not sure at this point.
We don't know where it's going.
Because I literally
they really have a lot of things to borrow from, though.
Because I keep thinking, in every Teen Titans, or at least in the series...
36 years worth of comic books that they can borrow from.
But the same storyline with Raven always is she's the portal for her father, right?
Yes.
To come into the world. And you saw it in, Justice League versus Teen Titans, the animated movie, which I just watched last night.
You see it in the Teen Titans, and you kind of see it in Teen Titans
Go. Yeah,
you see it in Tiny comics.
So is this the same thing, or are they going to switch it up? That's my question, and that's what I'm looking forward to finding out.
So were you pleasantly surprised, or were you like, this is what I was expecting? Like, what would you rate this first episode? And it's hard to rate a first episode because I think for a TV show, I give it a
Pilots
chance
are always
like
difficult.
6 or 7 episodes before the actors get to know their own characters. I usually give it about 6 or 7 episodes. Yes. What did you think of the first impression? I think I'd give it right
now, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. 70%. There you go. 7 out of 10. Because I think it has room to grow. I don't think it's there yet, but I like what I'm seeing, and I want to see more. It's just what I expect it to be. Even with the first trailer, I don't think anything that I saw surprised me.
Okay.
Or changed my mind about how I felt with the first trailer.
I think even a 6 for me would be generous, honestly. 6 out of 10. I'd be probably more of 5.5.
Oh my goodness!
It's not that it's bad. It's just it's interesting.
Omar's always a critic.
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
Did anyone watch our Venom review?
Maddie's the one that said it needed a 1.
Well, that's true.
I gave it a 2. Because I think a lot of the dialogue seems stereotypical and cheesy.
When I feel the darkness come out, it feels good.
But that's tweaking up the writing, though. Don't dumb down a lot of the things for me. Don't think your audience is stupid either. That's the other thing that I don't like with TV shows. A lot of TV shows do that. Most of the people that are going to watch this are already buying into the DC Universe app because they already read the comic books.
Yeah, so.
I can't imagine because I think Warner Brothers is having their own app coming out, so I don't know how the hell that's going to work. Anyway, so yeah, 5.5 for me.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's not a horrible start. It's not the greatest thing ever, but I'm interested to keep going and see where it goes.
So it's not blowing me away like Daredevil did, but
no, not by far.
Yeah,
I wasn't even hoping that. I wasn't even comparing it to Daredevil.
Yes,
this is its own thing, and it does. Okay, that's a good way of putting it. It does have room to grow.
It has room to grow.
So maybe that 5.5 could be like an 8 by the end of the time.
And then by the second or third season.
Yeah.
It can really take off.
If it takes off.
Because that, for me, is where Arrow picked up.
Most for most shows pick up. But
yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
That's another topic. So let us know what you guys think in the comments down below if you've seen it. And if you haven't seen it, I'm so sorry. Maybe there's other means getting around there. You can watch it.
Yes.
And I'll let you sign us off.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. As usual, make sure to check us out on all of our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at NearMintCon. And remember, we always have new episodes every Thursday with the main show, and then every Tuesday, for the most part, Old Reader, New Reader. And check us out there.
Yep. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.
Don't forget. All right. Thanks, guys. for watching.
Titans together! That's what I wanted to hear.
Oh! What? Now?